know you could do it. All you gotta do is put your mind to it.
All right, y'all, in this video, I give you an overview of my time at Douro Valley. Enjoy. Okay, this is our first stop. We just stopped at the gas station to get some gas and have people take a break, move their legs, grab some water. I grabbed this donut thing. There was two. I wish it was just one. It's not good at all. But drinking on an empty stomach seems like a recipe for disaster. So I had 75% of one, and this is just for later if I need it. Very beautiful. We're at our first stop, which is Porto Wine. Our guide was very soft-spoken. I did my best to do audio captions. Let me know how you did.
I had their business in southern France, where they were merchants of wine, until King Charles II boycotted and banned all the French products. So they had to find solutions, they had to find alternatives. They came here to Porto, where they found very similar wines to the wines they used to sell from Bordeaux, and they settled, and since that has been a huge success for everyone involved. Three parts. First we go to the winery, talk a little bit about our wines, then we go to the vineyards, talk a little bit about viticulture, and then the worst part, the wine tasting. Okay, sounds good? We do the food trail. It is a prolific tank with capacity of 9 to 10 tons of grapes. Only the best grapes goes to the prolific tank. So the process, this is a replica. The real one is in the wine, but the process is very simple. During the day, during the day we do the harvest, and then at night, starting 8 p.m., we put all the grapes inside it, and we form a line of workers. We have a marker that will synchronize them as a military march, exactly like the army. So for about 2 hours, you only hear 1, 2 left or right. They go to the center of the tank, they face the other wall and go to the other wall. This is called cut and face. Then another 2 hours, but this time figure face. They can do whatever they want. They can sing, they can drink, they can dance, but always stomping. By the end of it, we have a must-ready to start the fermentation. In the next 24-30 hours, fermentation will release some gases that will make the solid matter arise. So then, our teams have some wooden counters, like this one. Push down the solid matter once again to the bottom of the tank in order to obtain more extraction of color, aromas, and tannins from the seeds. Then, after 3.5 days, 4 days, the fermentation is at a state where we want it, not necessarily complete. A state where 50% of the sugar has been converted into alcohol by the yeasts. By then, we simply run out the fermenting wine into large vats and we add the wine spirit. That is 77% alcohol, no color, no aroma, no scent. This will kill the yeast and stop the fermentation, leaving us with a wine with 20% of alcohol and 100 grams of sugar per liter. So we have a comparison. When a table wine finished the fermentation, he ends up with 5-6 grams of sugar per liter. The port wine ends up with 100 grams of sugar per liter, so it's a lot. This process is called fortification. Then, for the full wine, we'll begin the wooden stage. We have small barrels and we have big ones. The small ones is for the tonic, because it's a much smaller container. Each liter of wine will contain less with the wood, so we will be able to, will not be able to maintain this dark purple color. So we will want to today loose color, loose fruity aromas, but gain aging aromas because it can stay inside it for about 40 to 50 years. If it goes to the big barrel, it will be a ruby, no more than 6 years inside of it, because in much bigger container, each liter of wine will contact less with the wood, so you will be able to maintain this dark purple color and all these fruity aromas as well. From the group, you have a very special category that is the vintage port. This is the type of bottle that you see so many investors and collectors spend so much money on. Not every year is a vintage, it has to be a very special year. To determine that, we age them for about 2 years in big vats. After 2 years, our oenology team will taste it, will test it, and verify if it has all the characteristics to be a vintage port. So, we bottle it, we store them horizontally so that the wine always stays in touch with the cork. This will make the port expand, prevent heat to come in and adulterate the wine. It can stay inside of the bottle for 89 to 100 years per easily. We also have white port and rosé. White port, either from cask is fine. Rosé is stainless steel because we don't want other aromas in our rosés. The years leading up to its plantation were extremely difficult. At the time, Europe was devastated with phylloxera. Phylloxera is a parasite that feeds on the roots of the vines and then kills the plant. This was a real issue back in 18th century, 19th century, and treatments were useless. Solutions came only from several studies. At the end of the 19th century, we discovered a solution. We discovered that the American vines were immune to the pest, so a new plantation method began where we simply graft our local varieties into the American rootstock. So problem solved. However, between those dark periods, we had to find solutions to be economically reliable. So, since there was no grape production whatsoever, we planted mulberry trees that fed silkworms. So we're in the business of silk. This is why you find a 2017 vintage bottle called Sericus. Sericus comes from the word sericum, that is Latin for silk. So this was a way of the company to pay tribute to those wine growers that in such difficult times still managed to give us an amazing vineyard.
Next is the wine tasting. Next, we're at the wine tasting part. 3 of them. We'll learn more about what each is, and I will film my reaction.
Starting on your left to your right, we start with of tonic water, but could easily be white port. As the color shows you, it is very sweet in the palate, notes of caramel, notes of honey as well, and very good for the summer, very fresh, very sweet. And then in the middle, we have the Ruby Reserve. As you can see by the color, a much darker color. It's staged in the big barrels, so it was able to maintain its dark purple color and fruity aroma, especially black ripe fruits and some dark chocolate as well. This is why it goes so well with chocolate desserts. Served not chill as white port. And then at the end, we have the tonic. As you can see, lost its color. It stays in the small barrels, so it means that it lost its fruity aromas, but gained aging aroma, especially dry fruits. Let's say almond, chestnut, hazelnut as well, some spices and some honey as well. I want to thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I hope you enjoyed the wines, and as we say here in Portugal, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we're on the boat. Our tour guide said, "Do you want to stop at this most beautiful place?" Everyone's like, "Yes, we do." And this is where she brought us. Okay. Isn't this view just amazing? All right, getting back on the bus to go eat lunch. Okay, now we're here. Okay, thank you.
to all of you.
Thank you.
First, in your table you have your starters. You have some salad of black-eyed beans with tuna. You have fresh mozzarella with tomato and balsamic vinegar. You have olives with garlic. You also have some olive oil with balsamic vinegar to dip the bread that is in your table. By the way, vegetarians, just to know where you are, okay, so it's easier for us. Now, and the gluten-free one also. Okay, okay. So now also in English, but to explain the main course. First, you'll have magana de alheira, that is basically smashed potatoes with a traditional Portuguese sausage that we call alheira. That is made with bread, with meat, and with some herbs. Then you'll have black pork ribs marinated with red wine and garlic. Also a tender part of the pork that we call secreto, translated secret, and also some beef. Okay?
So what is the everything? I'm curious. Chicken? Steak? Oh, lamb. Oh, okay.
My friends, I was saying that I have one last wine. We have one last wine for you to try. That it's a vintage port, okay? It's a ruby, and it will always be the most, let's say, special port wine that we can. First of all, I have one question for you. Do you know how many varieties of ports we have?
30.
Sorry?
4.
4. You are correct. Thank you. You have just made one wine point, okay? So, we have the tawnies, the rubies, the whites, and we also have the pink. The pink should not be a port wine, but it's considered as one by the Port Wine Institute, just to attract new generations to drink more ports in cocktails, okay? Meus amigos, I'm going to make both presentations in Portuguese and in English, okay? My friends, the one that you had along with your dessert, it was a 10-year tonic port, okay? You see 10 years written on the label, but it's not from 10 years ago. It's the blend of the wines that they made that in the end will give us the average age of 10 years, okay? But this one that I have for you, the ruby, well, this one that I have for you, the vintage port, will have the year on the label, 2018. This means that it's only made with grapes from this year and this year only. And I told you that it's the most special port that we have, right? So, to have written on the label, vintage, the winemaker has to believe that he has a port wine with a quality above the average. What we'll do is that you'll get the wine, you'll send a sample to the Port Wine Institute, and then they will analyze the wine, the weather conditions of that year. In the end, if the 30 of them agree that we have a special wine with a quality above the average, we'll have a vintage. But it only takes one to don't agree. It's always the same guy, by the way. It's the grumpy one, my friend. Yes. We don't have it, but we'll have another ruby that will be the LBV. Okay? So, this being said, it's also special, not only because of the quality, but will also be the only port wine with the ability to age inside of the bottle, okay? Because it's unfiltered. We have segments inside. This being said, we can have really old bottles of vintage port where the wine inside, it's amazing, but the cork may not be that good. And if we try to open with a normal corkscrew, what can happen? It's that it can have crumbles and will ruin the wine. You don't want that. So, you already saw some bottles being opened with a sword, with a saber of champagne in France. In here we are much more cooler than that, okay? And we open them by fire.
Oh!
True. We cook on fire, we open bottles of fire, in fire. We like to play with fire, basically, okay, my friends? Even though this is a young vintage from 2018, I'm going to open this bottle for you by fire for you to have the experience of seeing how it's made, okay?
Oh.
My friends, are you ready?
Yes.
I forgot to told you just one thing. It's my first time doing this. I don't know how it's going to
On the birthday boy's mum.
Sorry?
The birthday boy's mum. It's a branding. It's literally a branding.
Well, my friend, what I'm doing now is applying all the heat that we have on the iron into the glass. So I'm marking the glass with all this heat. My friend, every single day I have this calling. My friend, right now I will ask your attention to what I hope to be a click. Just a click.
A click.
A click. Okay? At least in the video that I saw before, it was a click. Let's hope. Espero. Ma'am, you are putting some pressure on me. I'm getting nervous.
I feel like he's done it before.
I'm a shy person. I'm not.
We know.
You already know. My friend, do you see? We already have, it's not over yet. We already have the glass apart. What I'll do now is to apply more water to clean any remaining residues of the glass that we can have in here, okay?
Like all of my excursions, I booked this tour via Vineyard. The total was $84.81 and I had a blast. Here it is in case you want to book it for yourself too. I highly recommend.
I know you could do it. All you gotta do is put your mind to it.